Hey, what's up? Today I want to talk on college. College. I went to college. I went to UCI. I went there for 4 years right after college. Right after high school. It was something that I wasn't really expecting. I wasn't really expecting that I would go to higher education. I only started, applying in my senior year or 11th grade when counselors started noticing I was getting good grades. That was not typical of me. I so if you don't know, I was doing really bad, F's and D's. All my grades were F's and D's up until eighth grade when I basically started doing good. Because my cousin promised me that if I got A's and B's on my report card, and my last report card of eighth grade, I would get an I think it was an iPad. No, not iPad. Not iPhone. Shit, I don't even remember the name of the Apple Music thing. Either a shuffle or an iPod. iPod. There you go, an iPod. And that was enough for me to change my behavior when it came to school. I went from sitting in the back of the class to sitting in the front of the class, from being the worst student in the class, the teacher's worst nightmare, to becoming the teacher's best friend and best student. Just because of a simple motivation to acquire like a little thing that I couldn't afford those kind of things or that kind of like stuff um, in eighth grade. So I would I I went for the challenge of doing good in exchange for an iPod. So anyways, um, I went through the motions. I kept doing good, getting good grades, even though I didn't get the iPod. I didn't get the iPod. I still liked getting good grades, and for some reason it just stuck. It just stuck with me to get good grades. Counselors started reaching out to me in high school, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on? Like, I'm getting all this attention from simply getting good grades. I'm gonna try to keep it up." And eventually, it led to me doing so well that they were starting to call me in to apply for colleges. So I applied just because I was told that it's like the best thing to do when you have good grades. So I did it. I got into UCI. Um, when I got into UCI, I thought I would do something with biology since I like the topic biology. Um, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just be a teacher. I don't. I think I could be a good teacher. I could maybe help students change and help them when they're struggling, like how they were if they're in the same footsteps I was. Uh, so what I'm going with this is I decided to go for it, go to UCI. Once I got to UCI, I was almost about to drop out because I was doing bad. The worth ethic from high school, my high school, was completely different from the ethic required in college. That's because I went to a high school that required little effort to get good grades. It was primarily Hispanic, um, so a lot of my peers were not top of the top of the line students. So I was competing with people who were not really good in English, who were not really good in math. I'm not saying that they're dumb. It's just we were not. Um, we were all first generation, so we're not the best at whatever topic it is that we're doing. So any kind of effort you put in, you will do good. So I ended up going to UCI simply because they paid for everything. I'm low income, so what I want to say to you guys is, if you're in the same situation, go for it. If you're gonna get everything paid for, go for it and use that to your advantage and study something that go for it and study something that's challenging. Push yourself. It's gonna be completely different. But if you're gonna have to take out loans, if you're gonna have to take out more than you can buy. I don't suggest going to a UC or whatever. If you can't afford it, don't go. Instead, go to college first, and then transfer to a UC. And you just gotta know, man. You gotta know what you want to do. But if you have everything paid for, you have a little bit more flexibility, and why not try it? So that's all I have. I mean, I'm not gonna say college is so really bad, but there are a lot of topics out there that a lot of majors out there that I feel they're useless. They're not preparing you for a real life. Our economy revolves around figuring out how to use money. It's our economy is all about money, and if you're learning stuff about history, your chances of really succeeding in life, it's harder because the way the economic system, it expects you to put some value in exchange for money. um, not not like you know you can't really be doing stuff that's related to hobbies. You're not really gonna find a job with that, or if you do get a job in that, it's like within your hobby, you're probably not gonna get paid a lot. So yeah, that's all I got. um, I haven't used my degree for any job other than the low paying job that I jumped into, which was like a nursery, a plant nursery, native plants, and basically landscaping for native plants. For me, it was a very horrible place to work. Super underpaid, very little hours. I literally would mess up my back. Just like I would dig trenches. It was heavy, and it wasn't paying off. The boss there was a dick, so I left. And greatest decision ever, leaving somewhere you're not comfortable with. So just leave a job if you're not comfortable with it, and if you know that it's not gonna pay off in the future, if you're miserable, just leave that shit. You'll find something better. I swear. But yeah, that's my tips on college. There's nothing too deep that I'm gonna say, or it's very. I think it's a lot of common sense, and like, but it's hard to like say no to a college when you got accepted, and you gotta understand that um, your financial well-being is important. So don't get yourself into crazy debt loads. So yeah. All right. Peace.